don't care who you are out there who's a fan of Bitcoin. I'm sorry, but Bitcoin is not going to transfer fast enough, and it can't scale enough to be able to transfer between autonomous vehicles, drones that are flying, and all these other Internet of Things. You know, the fees is too much.
It is.
Yeah, man, what's good? What's good?
What's going on?
Another day, another Hyve.
Yes.
Listen, I'm not even going to do all this thing where we say our names, because first and foremost, technology is at a point where I could just put it in the video.
So,
yeah, to be honest, it's episode 4 now.
Exactly.
Which means everyone should know our names now.
Literally.
There's no need to introduce ourselves.
How you guys been, man? I know Victor is on another one. Like
Today he's come in, he's on one.
He's on seventh heaven, man. He's always on one.
Allow me.
How you guys been though?
Good.
I always have to ask. I'm always gonna ask, by the way, because it's rude not to.
Real good, man.
You're good. How have you been?
I've been good, man. I've been all right. It's been a bit of a mad week though, innit?
It's been crazy, yeah. It's,
back and forth with investors that, you know, they wanna take ideas and butter it up and sell it, but you know,
I suppose it's business for you, isn't it? It's like Sharky world. It is what it is.
Sharks.
It's a dog world.
Sharks.
But yeah, man. Other than that, I've been great, man. I've been great. How's work? How's things, guys?
Yeah, work's been all right. Yeah, work preparing for the opening, April the 12th. Hopefully it goes ahead as planned.
Nice.
Just,
whereas other people are making massive moves, man. You see, like Jay-Z, bro.
Yeah.
I swear he solidified like 2 deals this week.
3.
Was it 3?
I think so. So the first one was he sold some of
Tidal. Majority stake in Tidal.
Sold some of Tidal. He sold some
a lot of Tidal.
Yeah,
killed it with Tidal.
Yeah. He sold what else did he
By the
sell?
way, do you know how much
champagne?
he
What's the champagne called?
I don't
Ace of
know.
Spades.
Let me
Ace of
know.
Spades, yeah.
Let me know.
Duce is the other one. Duce
Oh,
is
okay.
the,
Yeah. That's the one I was thinking.
Yeah, Duce is the other one. So he still got Duce, but he sold some of Ace of
that's
Spades.
He sold 50% of it, didn't he?
Yeah, I think was it 50?
Was it? Did they even say? Did they even say?
Yeah, no. Wait, hold on.
Yes.
Hold on. I think
He
it
sold
was 50%
of it.
Yeah.
But for an undisclosed fee. So no one knows how much they valued it.
He still got 50%.
Yeah.
He sold Tidal to Jack Dorsey.
Yeah.
And him and Jack Dorsey are doing something in crypto.
Yeah.
For 200 million, I think he
No.
sold
So yeah, they're doing something with crypto, but that was done before this deal.
Was it?
Yeah. So they've got, I'm not sure, it's like a fund or whatever, and I think they're trying to basically spread crypto knowledge in Africa.
And India.
Yeah. So I think that was like mid-Feb.
Oh, right.
And then now, obviously early March, they've done this thing. So yeah, the best of friends, man.
He's making moves, man. Big moves.
Yeah, shout him out still. We need more of those.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. But talking about cryptos, man, have you guys seen what's happening recently with NFTs?
Oh,
Mad.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Mad.
Did you read the Kings of Leon thing?
Yep, I read that. I wanted to ask you your opinion on the whole NFT thing, to be honest.
Listen, I'm not going to give away my gems.
No, but all I want to try to ask is, in your opinion, do you think that it is a myth and a lot of people are due to lose a lot of money out of it, or will there be massive capital gains?
I think there will be capital gains. I think what people need to be careful of is getting involved in assets that aren't really assets, if that makes any sense. So for example, with the whole Kings of Leon thing, you know Kings of Leon, right? You know they've got several hits. I think they've won several Grammys as well. I'm not sure.
Yeah, they're a massive band.
Yeah, so you know that they're valuable, right? And they most likely will continue to be valuable, you know? So if you're purchasing any digital assets based on that, something that has value, right? Then I believe, yes, you're likely to retain.
So you're saying people shouldn't buy a Jack Dorsey's first tweet?
Did you I mean, it's just for me, I guess it could kind of be a souvenir. Do you know what I'm saying?
Collectible.
It can act, it can act like a souvenir. But for me personally, but I can't say what I find valuable is what someone else.
True.
Do you know what I mean?
True.
So
true.
based
It's
on
a
that,
bit like musical chairs, though. Like if you get left
holding the bag
that's
with
not
something
valuable.
that's
People
not
are gonna be
valuable.
passing it to the next person
That's it.
trying to make a profit.
That's exactly.
Last person to hold that.
It's over. It's over with, you know? So this is why I think like people need to be careful. People need to educate themselves. But yeah, man, I think NFTs is definitely an introduction to digitalization of assets, of physical assets. Yeah. And I think it's a new world.
But one question I do have though is I don't know if you've been monitoring what's happening with the NBA NFTs, and they've turned over 250 million.
Luka Doncic, he's whatever picture,
NFT.
whatever.
Yeah, so there's pictures, there's certain videos. The only thing I can't understand personally is I think it was like a Zion Williamson first dunk video or something. He sold for 100K.
Right.
Yeah. Why would you buy it for 100? Why
When
would
you could get another copy.
Well, you can watch it on YouTube.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
So that's exactly my point, right? That's exactly my point, because you need to make sure that it has an intrinsic value. It has a value before you purchase it. Why would you, just like you said, like I can, we're going to get into this presentation that I've got for you guys because, I think it would kind of cover my train of thought when it comes to cryptocurrency, right? Yeah. And I think cryptocurrency or money in general should always be backed by something that has value. Do you know what I mean? And that's just what it is. But if it could be duplicated, why will I want to purchase it?
Yeah. I mean,
if it's an exclusive, if it's an exclusive family,
it's fun now.
Yeah, if it's a, that's
it's
exactly
fun now,
what it
it's
is.
new. People are excited about it.
Right.
I'm with you. When it becomes like the normal thing now, it has to be valuable things.
This is it.
Like it has to be.
It has to be valuable.
Music,
right?
Or whatever it could be. It has to.
And there needs to be a way where you can measure that it is valuable.
Yeah. Well, obviously the way they've explained it and the way they're marketing it now is because it's being transferred on the blockchain. You can trace the original holder. So that proves the authenticity of it. But I think they've been smart with how they've launched it in terms of they've launched it with items that are usually auctioned off, right?
Yeah.
So when you auction or when you purchase something at an auction, you're used to paying a fee on top of the price that you actually pay. Yeah. So obviously when you're buying things on the blockchain, there's obviously a transaction fee. Yeah. So it's not too far away from what happens in the real world. So I think they've been clever to introduce it with things like art, because obviously you go to an art auction, you pay X amount, and then there's like a buyer's premium on top.
What do you think that does for art, like how we know it now? People going to galleries, do you think it's going to disrupt that market, or do you think that's always going to be there? To be, it could do, obviously, but I think people still will want to go to an art auction, right? They'll still want to be able to see the painting and have an original painting, but that's not to say that there's not other copies of it online as well. But there's something in owning the original piece. And if the only way they can own that original piece is through an NFT on the blockchain, then I don't think they're going to have a choice. I think they're going to have to use it. That's crazy when you think about it.
It is crazy.
Like things that are known to be physical are now just going to be digital. Yeah. Like they could probably have like a hologram thing on the wall.
And that's exactly what I was going to say. Because I was thinking last week you brought up VR.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So I just think that can tie in very well with VR.
Definitely.
So you've got that project. I've forgotten what it's called, but I know that a lot of musicians and artists, it's going to come to me later on, are involved in it. And it's basically like virtual reality. And they've basically it's based on, I think when you read a white paper, one of the things that they've based it off of is Ready Player One. I don't know if you've seen the movie. Right. So it's basically holographic world and basically fans of singers, DJs, dancers, wherever it may be, you can go into the world, right? And then you can actually watch your favorite artist perform. So your favorite artist will have their own avatar, and they would be able to perform live in that holographic world. Do you know what I mean? And then you, as someone who's in that world, you can like buy your own skins, kind of like Fortnite. So Fortnite was another example that they based off of. So you can buy your own skins, your own hairstyle,
everything.
Yeah, spend money in there, and yeah, man. So I think it could be a way where you were talking about going to like a gallery and things like that. They can have holographic, a virtual reality gallery where you go in there and it's almost as real as the real thing, and you can watch whatever or see whatever art that's based off of the real thing in that world
and bid for it.
Exactly, and bid for it.
Sit there and be bidding. Black Mirror did something similar to that. I don't know if you guys saw. In the first season, I think it was where the guy. He was in some like camp type thing where he had to run, get points and all these things. It's Kaluga.
Daniel Kaluga. Yes.
It's the episode with him.
Yeah, I remember that.
Where he's like running and all that stuff. Then he does this like poetry thing, and it's all like animated people watching him. But they're real people, but they're all animated. We're getting there.
Yeah, man, definitely.
I would have thought this would be the best time to have like rolled it out though. Like everyone's at home.
I think, I need to remember what that sensorium. That's what it's called. Okay. Sensorium. So check that out. Sensorium, and I think Jay-Z is invested in it. I think I think that Tidal or Rock Nation invested in it. A few Russians invested in it. So David Guetta as well, he's involved in it. Like there's a few big people involved in that, man. And it's VR, like virtual reality, is crazy, sounds sick. So I think they're slowly rolling it out, because when I checked it was last year about I think September, November. Right. And they were planning on rolling it out like this year. So I'm not sure what's going on with that. But
guess lockdown's gonna be extended then.
Oh yeah. Look, let's not even get into that. That could be a whole nother video, man. But so
crypto world's mad.
Crypto is crazy, really man. But just to a lot of people, there might be a few people that's watching this and they don't know, anything about crypto, because I know when I mention crypto to people, right, one of the first things that comes to their head is, it's either a scam or you need to be super intelligent to know about it. What do you guys think about that? Because what I want to do with this episode is I want to kind of like run you guys through my train of thought because obviously I was like one of the early adopters, I don't know if you want to call it that, of like Bitcoin. I bought my first Bitcoin in 2011. No, I'm not a millionaire because I sold.
Don't lie to these people.
I sold way before.
Tell them the truth, Charlton.
Tell them the truth. I sold way before. But what I wanted to do, because people, whenever I tell people what I was thinking and why I got in, they always seem to be like, wow, I never knew that. Yeah. So that's what I want, like with this, I kind of wanted to run through how I went about and what my reasons were to actually get involved. You guys saw that video I sent of RK. I'm going to keep the initials. Yeah. And basically he was talking about how people just run to the new shiny thing. Right? Yeah. For me, it wasn't just a shiny thing. It was, there was reasoning behind it, right? And I think a lot of people need to learn how to actually do their own due diligence before they start jumping into things, because even things that are valuable can appear to be a shiny thing, but it really is valuable. It really is gold. Yeah. So that's what I wanted to do with this podcast. But before I go on, before I start with the presentation, what I wanted to ask you guys is, how did you guys or why did you guys get involved with crypto?
Do you want to go first?
No, you go.
No pressure.
Well, I'll tell you the truth. I wasn't really into it. I wasn't really a believer originally. I thought that it was just a hype. It was a phase. It was a craze that everyone was just jumping onto. And I thought sooner or later, a lot of people are about to lose a lot of money. Yeah. And
to be honest, at one point I actually thought that as well. So I'm not even gonna lie, but I 100% agree.
And I was the thing about me is, like, I know that your guys' view on trading to mine is completely different. Trading and investing like that, it doesn't really ignite anything in me. Yeah, I prefer to launch a business, try to see it grow. So it wasn't really something that I was prepared to look into. Then obviously it became more and more real. It became like something like, at first you ignore it. But then you have to pay attention because it isn't going to last for this long unless there's some substance behind it.
Right.
So that's what made me look more into it. But then when I was actually being introduced to the technology behind it by you, I then took it upon myself to actually read into the different technologies behind it. What is it that these cryptos are actually trying to achieve? Yeah. And I think when you look into that, you begin to understand that there is substance behind it. And I think no one's interested in looking at who's behind it, what the tech is behind it, what would it be used for, what's their ultimate goal. No one really looks into that. So once I began to look into it, it started to interest me because I was interested in the tech and the idea behind it.
Yeah. Definitely.
That makes sense. That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah. What about you, Vic?
I'm new into it. Yeah. I wasn't, 2016.
Yeah, no,
all that stuff. I'm really
2011.
Yeah. 2011. My bad.
Crazy. 11. Yeah, I know. Jeez. It's mad. We're gonna get into why I didn't hold much later on, but I actually regret not. But once again, the reason why I didn't stay in ties back to things we've spoken on in previous episodes, which is emotional control, right? Yeah. So the emotion of patience, I didn't have that under control. So that's why I basically, you know what, I'm just gonna take the little profit that I have and I'm gonna get out. But sorry, man, go on.
No, you're good. Yeah. So I didn't know about it earlier. I knew about it probably last couple years, and I really started paying more attention to it, like ending of last year, beginning of this year. Yeah. Now, one of my friends, he's a crypto guy, and he's so into crypto that he's like, he don't like having like WhatsApp. He don't, you know what I'm saying? He's very like into decentralized stuff, and he's just so techie as well. Right. So anyway, he started explaining it to me. He's like, bro, this is a rabbit hole. Like once you literally start getting interested, it's a rabbit hole. And I found out it is a rabbit hole. And I jumped in, and it was just like, wow, there's so many different things that it involves. And to piggyback off of what CJ said, it's like you start to realize that it's just more than a coin. Yeah. It's more than just a token. It's actually things that can translate into your everyday life.
Absolutely.
And it's on a new system. So for me, when I started to learn all the different applications that are being built, it just made sense with the way I like to invest. This is so innovative and so disruptive that people don't have a choice. Like this thing will take hold, and people will start to see that, hold on a second, like decentralized social medias, decentralized this, decentralized that. It's going to give people the power that everyone wants but don't really know how to go and get.
Yeah, exactly.
And it gives you that autonomy to say, no, this is mine. Because like I said, my friend, he's got, like you do as well, physical wallets. Do you understand? He's got ledger. He's got all these things, like, and he's breaking it down to me. I'm like, hold on. So if you lose that code, it's over. Yeah. He said, he was like, literally, like, or if anybody gets it, it's over. So when he explained it to me, I realized that you are the sole owner of everything that you are investing in.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not tied to nobody else. And it just gave me that sense of ownership that you don't really get with other things that you may invest in just the normal world, so to say. Like, but in the crypto world, it's like, that's what it is. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, man, it's the wild, wild west. It's the wild, wild west.
Yeah, man. So why do you guys think there's a stigma then? In like,
people don't know it. With anything that people don't know, there's always a stigma.
Yeah. Well, if you think about it, investing money as the average person knows it, as a normal person knows it, into something that is completely decentralized. If you think about that process, it is mad. Yeah. It is mad. So 100%. To get people to change their thought process behind it and to understand it, it's a tough task, isn't it?
I love, you know what? I love that. I love it that you said that, because that's basically what I wanted to do with this podcast. I wanted to, because I think, once again, I speak to a few people and I'm just like, you do understand you guys are, you're missing out. Do you know what I mean? You're missing out on a lot of like profit, on a lot of gains. And I think if people just have the basic understanding of what crypto, the intention behind crypto in the first place was, I think they would be able to see the bigger picture. Do you know what I mean? And that's what I wanted to do with this podcast. And man, so I prepared a little presentation, because for me, people always ask me, Charlton, how did you get in? Why did you get in so early? right? And I wanted to take people through the way I see crypto.
Right.
My thing started with, because around 2011, it's 10 years ago, right?
Yeah.
It tied into the same time when I started to learn about business. And I thought, you know what, I want to learn about this whole business world. And obviously, you guys already know my first book that I read.
Yeah.
And in that book, his thing was, the main thing that Robert touched on was basically money and what money really is.
Yeah.
And I think that's what blew me away. The fact that I didn't know what money was.
Facts.
I thought I did until I read that. And I was like, yo, there's so much to this that I actually don't know. And when it came down to it, I realized that, okay, so people save money, right? People work for money. And I think after reading that book, it was a shocker for me to find out that saving money is actually not the way to go.
No, it's bad.
Do you know what I'm saying? Why? Because it loses value.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the reasons why, Bitcoin was created, because Bitcoin was the first of its kind, the first cryptocurrency, introduced blockchain and everything. So what I'll do is I'll take you through these slides because I've kind of listed it.
Nice.
It's not going to be long. It's going to be quick. So what is money, right? So money is supposed to be a medium of exchange, right? It's a unit of measure and it stores value, right? Today, what people don't understand is what they call money, which in essence isn't really money because it doesn't have a store of value. So it's got medium of exchange, it's got unit of measure, but it doesn't have a store of value, which is, part of where this presentation is going to go to. So on the next slide, so what I wanted to do, right, after figuring out what money was, I wanted to look at the trend of money, right? So, there's I'm sure you guys have heard a quote where it says, if you want to know where you're going, you have to look back to where you're coming from, right?
Yeah.
So, and obviously in trading as well, it's like the trend is your friend. You always need to look at the trend, right? Sure. So I wanted to see where did money start from and how has it changed? How has it transitioned over the years? So I found, obviously, we started with the barter system, which is obviously like cows, chickens.
I do this for you, you do this for me.
Yeah, you do this for your cow. Yeah, I give you
give me a haircut.
Yeah, back in right. But it's great. You laugh at that. Even till this day, you could go back and watch some Nigerian movies where they're
bro.
you want to take my daughter, bring me 5 goats,
that's it.
2 cows.
Simple.
So that's the part. Yeah, do you know what I mean? And then it went from that to precious metals, right? So precious metals being mostly gold and silver. And that was the next form of money, right? However, I think precious metals was almost where it kind of stopped. But what you then find, because the reason why I say where it stopped is because money as we know it right now, it's supposed to be backed by precious metals.
No, it's not.
It's not. Well, the average person will tell you that. But it's supposed to be, because what we had after precious metals was fiat money, right? Or fiat, no, I wouldn't say fiat currency. So fiat money, because if it's backed by gold, which is money, it's still money, right? But they introduced the fiat money because if you were traveling, right, gold, silver is too heavy to carry with you. Also, it increases the risk of you actually getting robbed. Do you know what I mean? So obviously a few smart people came together and they were like, listen, why don't we just put this receipt? So if I'm traveling and I purchase something from you, I give you this receipt.
Like an IOU.
Like exactly an IOU. So you could then go to the bank and you can redeem your gold or your precious metal for the fiat money. Now, it then went on to like fiat currency. So fiat currency and fiat money, the reason why those two are different is because fiat currency isn't backed by anything.
Facts.
Right? It's just paper. Right? You can't go to the bank and redeem. There's no IOU in that. It's just, and then so from that point, we moved on to digital, which is obviously credit card and, your just numbers. But what I noticed from this is that over time, it seems to have gone from a very physical form of money to a non-physical form of money. So this is what I was saying. So that was the trend. So when I was looking at money and I was like, okay, well, that's interesting because now money isn't backed by anything. And now it's not even paper's worth more than money because they don't even put it on the money anymore. They just type it into a bank account, and that's it. Yeah, put in a bunch of zeros. So I thought, okay, that was pretty interesting.
We like our zeros.
Right, exactly. So for me, right, studying the history of money, the key focus for me was that transition. The transition from precious metals to gold-backed currency, because that was very, very interesting, you know? And a lot of our generation, we are not familiar with that because we were born after that, right? I'm sure you were born 1988, 1989, 89. Yeah. This was way before then, you know? So a lot of our generation, we're not too familiar. So when you tell people that, listen, gold is actually money, they look at you like you're crazy. Like, we're talking about this ancient stuff. Right. Like, all you do is just wear it around your neck or whatever. Do you know what I mean? But people don't actually know it's valuable because it is, you know what I mean? It is money. It used to be money, you know? So moving on. So basically, so now the way we transitioned from gold back, from just gold to fiat currency was in 1944. Have you guys heard of the Bretton Woods moment?
No.
The Bretton Woods Agreement? No. So the Bretton Woods Agreement was basically where a lot of countries, allied countries, came together. I think it was about 44 countries, and then they crowned the US dollar as the world reserve currency. Yeah. Now, what this meant is that the US dollar was pegged to gold, and it would, I wouldn't say it was impossible to print, but it made it nearly impossible to print, which meant that the US dollar would still retain its value, right? Which is one of the key factors of what money is supposed to be, right? Which is store of value. So that is a major, major part. And the IMF had a major role to play with that, because the IMF kind of acted like a world reserve bank, if that makes any sense. So if any country was to lose value, currency was to lose value, they would step in and basically bail them out, right? And this is key because right now, I think it was last year, towards the end of the year, the IMF announced a new Bretton Woods agreement, right? So what that shows is the rules of money is about to change again. But the rules of money changed from 1944 to 1971. We had a gold standard, right? Because the rest of the world currency was tied to US dollar. USD, Cool. So 1971, what happened? Basically, Richard Nixon, US president, came in and it took the US dollar off the gold standard. So for the first time...
So we done with this crap.
Yeah, exactly. So now we've just literally transitioned from solid precious metals to just paper, right? And this is key because what that meant is the rules of money changed, and savers, people who saved money, actually became losers because your money doesn't actually retain any value anymore, right? So when I found this out, I think this was the part that woke me up, right? And I started to think, so that means if I'm going to work, right, from the age of 25, and I'm saving all this money so that one day I can retire and, you know, live off of this money I've saved, it's likely that I'm never going to be able to retire.
Facts.
And that's what I saw. And we went back to last week's episode when we were saying how it's trendy now for people to start businesses.
Right.
And that's what I was getting at when I say I feel like people are starting businesses because they subconsciously they know they have to. Otherwise, they won't be able to retire, right?
Oh, definitely.
So this was the key moment for me. And it also means that
Would you say this was the moment that made you really believe in cryptocurrency?
Right, exactly.
Or would you say that it was like the understanding of just currency, fiat? Or would you say it really made you start to look for things that were more like, you know, that crypto? Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah. So
because obviously you know it's gone to digital now.
Exactly.
Everyone's just getting a number.
But this was so literally, so all of this is what I was learning before before finding out about Bitcoin.
Okay.
Right. So this was just my knowledge.
This was your knowledge on money.
Yeah, exactly.
You just knew what money was.
This is it. Right. Exactly. So I'm learning.
So you must, as soon as you've seen it, you must have been like,
there you go.
What?
There you go, right? So as soon as...
This is the next.
Exactly. And this is...
progression.
That's it. Yeah. And this is why I say to people, it's like, it's important to actually study and go back and research, because when you do, you'd see a lot more clearer as to where things are going, right? Yeah. I don't think you have to be smart. I wouldn't call myself smart. I just feel like I'm very open-minded in a sense where I'm willing to learn.
You ask questions, man.
Yeah, exactly. Ask questions.
You just don't take everything that people have said to you as the truth.
Exactly.
Do your own research.
That's it. Do you know what I mean? So so this was the point where for me it was like raw, because what you see is, so I think I read Rich Dad Poor Dad in 2010, right? And I think it was from so when the dollar got unpegged from the gold standard, it was worth $20.
Right.
And then in 2010, I believe it was around like 1,200. So can you imagine if you had $20 and you just bought gold back in 1971? Yeah. Imagine what that would be worth right now. Like, do you know what I mean? At that time,
and that's what you save. If you was to save, that's how you, and that's what investing is. That's what
precisely
going in the crypto space is. All of these different things. You wrote something there that I really love. Yeah, it says, we're born into a debt-based society system.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Expand on that.
So basically, what that means is, I don't know if you guys have seen that video of a girl. I think she was in Sweden at the time, and
shout out Sweden.
She's and then she's actually from Kenya.
Okay.
And then she made.
I think I've seen it. Yes.
Yeah. I think it kind of went viral. Yeah, I think so. And basically, what she was talking about was, she was basically saying that how is it that, you know, a country that lives off of debt is calling another country poor, when in that country, when people purchase a home, purchase a car, they buy it cash, right? So she meant back home in Kenya, in Africa. And I could vouch to that, because that is kind of like how it is in Nigeria as well, right? But I would assume that what she doesn't understand is, because we've been born into a debt-based system, what that means is everything is based off of credit, right? So because there's been a lot of bailout from 1971 onwards, right? It means the banks are steadily printing money on a continuous basis, or should we say the government is steadily printing money on a continuous basis.
Which devalues it even more.
Yeah, so inflation. A debt-based system just means now you need credit, right? In order to, the wealthier you are, right, the more credit you would have.
And Robert speaks about using
credit, leverage
as leverage,
exactly.
For you. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. So there's good debt and there's bad debt, right? So you can have, you could go take out a loan to buy some trainers, clothes, or whatever,
or something.
Yeah, a car that actually perfect example, a car that actually depreciates in value, or you can take that and actually use that to purchase a rental property that actually brings you in money, right? So. Yeah, so I like the fact that you actually caught on to that, because that, for me, was the decider. So when I had read all of that, the one thing for me was, okay, my train of thought was like, okay, so how do I become financially free? It means I would need to have a business that prints money. So I wanted to be the bank, rather than being the borrower, right? I want to be the bank. I want to be the one that actually prints money, right? So the way I was thinking was, okay, well, I'm not that smart. I'm just going to go with Robert Kiyosaki's, I'm just going to go to his blueprint, his playbook, right? So I thought, okay, well, I'm going to save up enough to get myself a rental property. And then basically that prints money for me. And then what I can then do is, the money that I get from that, after my living expenses is covered, I can then use the rest to purchase gold and silver to store the value, right? Because I know 5 years from now, 10 years from now, the value is not going to be, will depreciate, right? So it would be smarter for me to put that money into something that retains value. But as it turns out, I didn't need rental properties to be able to print money. Right, so what did I do? I used my brains. I loved music. I loved making music instrumental. That's intellectual property. And started making beats, sold my licenses online, for people to actually get the beat and use the beat, right? And they would pay me a certain amount. And when I did that, I just found out that it was that easy to actually get cash flow. So I was averaging, I think it was somewhere between 800 or 600 and 1,500 pounds monthly. Right? It fluctuated, but the fact of the matter was, this was money that was coming in even when I think me and Alicia, we even went on holiday to France using that money. Yeah. And while we were in France,
you was making some
I was still
beats.
making money, right? But the only, so, you know, I think I spoke about this. The only reason why I couldn't maintain that was because it was too much for me to handle, right? And this comes into more business knowledge, knowing how to have a system in place. Yeah. I could have probably hired more producers who could have leveraged off of my fan base or the customer base that I had built, right?
Facts.
But, you know, so that ended up falling to the wayside. But for me, that showed the importance of actually having a system or business that prints money for you while you're sleeping, right? Because what's happening is, because the dollar isn't pegged to the gold standard, money is consistently being devalued. Yeah. You know, so that's, or should I say currency, not money. So currency, there's a guy called Mike Maloney. He does that, he corrects himself all the time. He's a good guy to watch as well when you really want to get the in-depth knowledge about because I
know you're just touching it.
I'm literally just touching because
we could go deep into
very deep. You know, very deep. But I mean, once I'm done with this, which I'm more or less done, you know, we can try and go deep. Yeah, we could discuss it. But so after that, so seeing that, I then stumbled upon Bitcoin. Now, I didn't stumble upon Bitcoin just from researching. The way I stumbled upon it was a guy called Max Kaiser, right? Max Kaiser, he is a Bitcoin evangelist. So he had a show, he's got a show on you know, do you watch RT? You know about RT? Russia Today. It's a news channel.
No.
So basically, I would usually watch Russia Today. Just because.
Where did you watch it? YouTube or?
So at the time I had Sky. Right, but you could watch it on online. So they've got a live thing.
You might have to bleep do it again.
But yeah, so I was watching this. So Max Kaiser, he's basically one of those guys that does not like the system, right? And I remember I watched his thing and he was talking about Bitcoin. I was like, Bitcoin? What is a Bitcoin? Like, do you know what I mean?
So
and it was like,
you came up on it early.
Very early, man. So I was like, so he was talking about it. I was like, yo, like, what is this? And he was like, yeah, the banks don't like it. The governments don't like it. It's going to take over.
Let me explain something to you right now. Okay, here's a $10 bill. This is garbage. This is garbage. Your people in South Africa, you have your rand, right? That's going to zero. That's going to zero. This is going to zero too. Euros are going to zero. The yen's going to zero. The Chinese currency is going to zero. It's all going to zero against Bitcoin. If you don't understand that yet, you're going to be impoverished. You're going to be on the street. You're going to be begging. You're going to be out of business. You're going to be toast.
Max, do you know that it's a criminal offense to tear up?
Do you know that with the Bitcoin I have, I can buy any freaking senator or congressman I want? I make the laws. He who has the Bitcoin makes the laws, Rand. We're not going to just sit around and let the goddamn congressman tell us what to do. We've got the capital. We make the laws. We've got the Bitcoin. They don't. We got it. They don't. Do you understand?
I can't do his accent, but he was like, yo, so I thought, nah, let me check what this is, right? Because the one thing that he mentioned that, for me, it wasn't even decentralization, because for me, decentralization came in after. Right. Do you know what I mean? The main thing for me was it couldn't be printed. I think I was kind of traumatized when I found out that your money is being devalued every,
I was just
thinking, so it's a waste I can't even make this money.
Right.
Let alone, do you know what I mean? So you're already in a minus before you make the money. Right. Do you know what I mean? Right. So that's kind of scarred me. So when I heard, this is a currency that can't be printed, and I thought, how does this work? Then I looked into it and I just thought, hold on a second. We've just gone from cows, chickens, to gold, to paper, and now to digital. Yeah. So it only makes sense that digital currency is what's next. So when I saw that, I thought, that's interesting. And then I looked more into it. To be honest with you, I can't sit here and explain to you the intricacies of Bitcoin, right? Yeah. All I know is that it could, and this is where the value comes in. This is the intrinsic value, right? Yeah. The fact that it couldn't be duplicated.
Yep.
So that for me just sealed the deal.
Yeah.
And at the time, there was only a few thousand Bitcoins out there. Do you get me? You can still use your mobile phone to mine Bitcoin.
Yeah, exactly.
Even though it would take a while for you to actually get the Bitcoin. So I'm like, hold on. Robert Kiyosaki talked about having a gold mine as well. Like that is the next step. If you want to be,
But low key, this is like a gold rush, really. Yeah. It's like because everything is in cycles. So it's like that gold rush at time frame, we're reliving it through Bitcoin and crypto and all these different things.
Exactly. So for me, when I saw that, I thought, nah, like I need my own mine. Right? So that's when I started reaching out to everyone. I was like, yo, guys, there's a company called Butterfly Labs. They sell a Bitcoin mining machine. It's $4,000. We could get 24 Bitcoins every month.
Yeah.
Imagine
that. So I'm like, so at the time I had about $2,000 saved up from selling beats.
Yeah.
And I was trying to get everybody on it. I was trying to get Bob, Harry, my mom, my cousins, my auntie, a newborn baby. I was trying to get, I was trying to get Benga, Tunde. I was trying to get the whole, I was like, listen, guys. I said, listen, guys, I don't know what to tell you because, and so after the fact that you can't duplicate, you can't print it, the other part that caught my eye was, I thought, okay, gold makes sense, right? Gold makes sense as money. However, we're living in a digital age, right? So I looked at it and I thought, you can't purchase things online with gold.
Yeah, you can't.
But with this thing
you can.
that is similar to gold, you can purchase online.
Yeah.
That's where the light bulb went off.
Right.
And I thought, nah, this makes sense.
When it was explained to me, the whole concept of like, there's only a certain amount that is gonna be mined, and that is it. Yeah. Like there's no more after that.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, and then each 4 years there's a halving. So whatever's being produced that year gets
absolutely. But you see the thing. I didn't even care about any of that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I don't need to know any of that. All I know is that there's a limited amount.
That's what made it valuable.
Exactly.
That's what made it valuable.
That was the intrinsic value. So it was limited, right? On top of it, people trusted it.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? Even though it was a small select few people, and I said to myself, this thing will catch on eventually, right? And that's what I was looking at. I was like, although I kind of lost faith because the people I was telling were saying, nah, it's a scam. So this is why I sold early.
But that's the thing.
Can I ask a question though? Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good.
Can I ask a question? What was it about it that made you think, no, this is it? Like this will change the world? Because if you think about it again, it's been created. It's code. And it's been created by a person that no one knows who he or she no one knows.
There's one person that thinks he knows the
So
anyway,
it's like,
that's another story.
What was it about it that made you look past all of that? Because if someone creates something, you instantly want to know who's behind it.
Absolutely.
You want to trust in the person.
Now,
but with that, no one can.
Yeah, for real. That's a good question. Now, I could possibly get flamed by the crypto community or whatever for what I'm about to say, but the way I see it is not even just the crypto community, people in general, but the way I saw it was with gold and silver, it was created, right? No one knows who it was. But some people say God, God, universe, whatever you want to call it. But who decided that?
That's what's going to be.
Yeah, that's worth something.
Yeah, for facts. Big facts. It could have been anything. It could have been wood.
It could have been anything.
It could have been anything.
It could have been tooth.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what was
facts.
it about?
Big facts.
Yeah, but what I'm trying to say, people will argue.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying they're right or wrong. People will argue, but I can see it. I can actually, I know it's there, but exactly. I don't know if Bitcoin is there.
Yeah, 100%. That's another great question, right? Yeah. So now what made me remember, we're talking about the trend.
Yeah.
We're talking about money trend. We were already digital.
Yeah.
We're already digital. This is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
before it was paper, you could see the paper, right? Have you seen, if you have 50 grand in your account, how many people see the 50 grand?
Nah.
Yeah, no one sees it at once, really. No one knows it's 100%.
It's there,
no one can touch
but
it.
People believe it's there.
People believe.
Right.
Yeah.
Key word, believe.
Yeah.
That is the key word. With crypto, with Bitcoin, I saw a community that believed in crypto. And for me, that was all it took. Do you know what I'm saying? Alongside the other features that it had, right? With the value, a lot of economists claim it doesn't have any intrinsic value, but that's debatable, right? I'm not here to talk about that. What I'm saying is it does have a value though, in the fact that it's limited. It's not getting printed. And if people trust and believe in this, that's all it takes. The same way when someone said, gold is money, let's use this as a form of exchange, right? People believed this is what it is.
Yeah, and to be honest, you raise a good point, because when people transferred from using cash to
digital
card,
like
people...
It's calm.
At the beginning, I know that people were saying, no, I prefer my money where I can see it underneath my bed. I don't want to put it in the bank.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, I prefer to use cash than card. Yeah. And it kind of made it to the point where you're not able to not have a card. You're not able to not have a bank account.
Yeah.
So do you think that it will get to the point where you're not able to not have crypto?
Nice.
That you're not able to not have crypto.
Yeah.
What do you mean, that you have to have crypto, basically?
Like in order to function in society, if everything's going digital, do you think it will get to the point where people will have no choice but to have to own crypto to purchase certain things?
I already think it's getting to that point.
Yeah.
It's already more or less there. Like, think about the pandemic. How many people still have the confidence to touch cash?
Yeah, I was going to even ask.
Yeah, but
when was the last time you held some cash? When was the last time you actually used cash?
I'm talking about crypto specifically.
Yeah. So with crypto, now what I think with crypto is, obviously, I don't know if you guys have seen central banks.
Yeah,
right?
they're trying to adopt it. They're coming out with that digital thing.
Right, exactly. So
JP Morgan, the thing that I said.
Exactly.
JP Morgan.
So, exactly. So my thing was, and this is why I exited Bitcoin as well, right? So there were several, whenever I get into something, I don't just get into it for one reason, right? I use a confluence of reasons, a confluence of factors. I need to see multiple factors as to why this wouldn't be the thing. So one factor was the fact that I saw that people have been programmed to always listen to the system.
Yeah.
Whatever the government says is what goes, right? So if the government says cryptocurrency is bad and we're not adopting cryptocurrency, guess what? The majority of people will fall behind.
Yeah.
There will only be a certain select few of people who believe in crypto, right? So when I saw that, I thought, okay, well, yeah, this is my exit point, right? I see why people are not confident in it. Even now, when we go out on the street, the average person, they've heard of Bitcoin, but how many people actually own Bitcoin?
Nah, man. Nah.
It's not many, right?
There's a lot of sheep.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
There's a lot of sheep.
This is the
just
thing.
Follow, like, okay, this is what is being done. This is what they say, so it's all right.
Right, exactly.
Until they're too late.
That's it.
Until they have full control of it.
Right.
And then tell you, okay, we're going to now give it to you.
Exactly.
And you're just,
This is it. So now going to your question, right, which I think is an amazing question, is do I think people will have no choice? Yes. Why? Because the central banks are starting to come up with their own central bank digital currency, CBDCs, right? So when they come up with that, once they're done, developing it or whatever the case may be, of course the people are going to start using it.
Facts.
Sweden, actually, they've got their own not digital yuan, they've got e-krona, right? They've got their own digital currency called e-krona, and I can't remember what the percentage was, don't quote me on this, but I think it was something like 90% of Swedish people don't use cash.
Yeah. I'm telling you, a lot of people do not use cash anymore.
This is the thing.
I'm not too sure if it was China or North Korea or one of these places, but in one of those cities in Asia, they did this thing where it's like, you didn't need to even have cards or anything like that. You would walk into a shop, and because there's cameras there and it knows your face and everything like that, it'll just take the money out of your account. So you can literally you can walk in, take whatever you want, walk out, it'll take the money out. You go on the train, you don't have to pay anything. Yeah. As it's following you, it's got your face, it's got all of that recognition stuff.
Crazy.
And
in Ealing, Amazon have just opened that Amazon Fresh.
Yeah, I heard about that.
You walk in, you just tap your phone, or it scans it. I don't know what kind of QR code or whatever it is, and there's millions of cameras everywhere. It knows what you picked up. You just
that's exactly.
The more people, the more they start rolling things like that out, the more things start becoming
more digital. This
like
is it.
That.
Exactly.
There's nothing you can do.
This is it, and this is why I'm saying
it's
very important, right? I'm not a financial advisor. I'll put a disclaimer at the start of this.
Disclaimer.
We're not
just a good conversation.
Exactly. We're not financial
advisors.
advisors, but what people have to do is please do your research before it's too late.
Yeah, man.
Because if you compare, right? You know, we talk about businesses all the time. What is it that they say 90% of businesses fail within the first 5 years, and then the other 90 fail within the next 5, right? So Bitcoin has been around. What is it? 12 years?
Yeah,
it's over a decade.
Yeah,
man.
Clearly, it's here to stay.
Yeah.
And I don't even like Bitcoin, to be honest. Like, let me just put that out there. Bitcoin was a thing when it came out. Now it's outdated.
Yeah, there's
right?
I found out that there's even other coins that are more valuable than Bitcoin. As in, some coins are going for like 50, 60K because there's even less of a amount of them.
Exactly.
Like,
and this comes down.
There's bare stuff in that.
Yeah,
in the
exactly.
world, man.
And you know, I have to agree with Robert Kiyosaki, because if you go on when you go on his YouTube channel, when people come and talk about crypto, he flames them. He goes, listen, what is the difference with Bitcoin and any other cryptocurrency out there? And I have to be honest, like, he's got a good point, right? Because you can always create, regardless of the different features, you can always create another cryptocurrency, right? That would be the shiny thing. Does that make any sense? So for me, there has to be another, and there is another one. And hey, listen, we need a whole new episode for that. We need a whole new episode for that one. But the reason why I say that is there are so many things, you know, it can just keep getting created.
That's the thing.
So it now comes down
loads of applications.
Exactly.
Altcoins, all of these different things that are coming. But for me, I feel like it's beyond the coins now. Do you understand? It's like the applications are businesses. You're investing in a digital business that creates a specific service. And then, but the way that world runs is that you get tokens for that business. And then your tokens get values, and then you can use those tokens as, currency, so to say, to either purchase this and purchase that. It's a totally different world.
But the reason why I say Bitcoin is outdated, though, right, is because we're in the 4th industrial revolution. If nobody knows what that means, go on the World Economic Forum's website and research it yourself, right? 4th industrial revolution means data transfer. It's going to be the major form of transfer, form of exchange, right?
Data is the most important thing.
Data is the most important thing. So we're talking about IoT, Internet of Things, right? You cannot use Bitcoin. I don't care who you are out there who's a fan of Bitcoin. I'm sorry, but Bitcoin is not going to transfer fast enough, and it can't scale enough to be able to transfer between autonomous vehicles, drones that are flying, and all these other Internet of Things. You know, the fees is too much, right? So these are the things that we're talking. This is why I say it's outdated, because there's a new world that they're bringing in.
It's outdated. It's outdated if you've got the foresight to see the next thing. If you don't have that foresight, Bitcoin is like, it's it.
This is it.
But when you know, okay, well, no. I can see there's already something that's upgraded, that's about to be.
Yeah, but that's why we said you got to look into the tech.
No, exactly.
Look
for
into
sure.
what's
Yes,
behind
you
it.
have to look, but more so, you have to look because it's called cryptocurrency. Unfortunately, it's not called crypto business.
No.
Do you get me? So I don't care what business you can build on that. I
do.
No.
I think it's good. I think it's good when you can build a business like on the internet.
Absolutely.
And have
I'm not arguing. I'm not arguing.
Have something that can kind of come into the normal world and change the way it's run totally.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
Listen,
I completely agree with that, right? But what I'm talking about, is for me, cryptocurrency, I look at it as cryptocurrency. I look at it as a currency, right? Because that's what the institutions are looking at it as. This is the same. The currency aspect of it is the same reason why people invest in it or institutions invest in it for a store of value, right? JP Morgan and all these people that are getting involved in Bitcoin, they're not buying Bitcoin to say, let's build a business on Bitcoin. Right? And Bitcoin is the one that people get into the most, right? So clearly people are not looking at it as, crypto business.
No, it's a new form of currency.
Although you do have a point, because you can profit.
I'm looking at it from an investment point of view. Do you know what I mean? But it's a new currency.
Yeah,
do you know
exactly.
What I mean? JP Morgan are trying to hire, or they've even, hold on, it's right here. They've got
to build
56 open jobs for developers to build on their blockchain. They're trying to do the whole thing. They're trying to do the whole thing. Do you understand?
Yeah.
And they will do it.
Yeah.
They will.
Absolutely.
Do you know?
Absolutely.
So you are right. Everybody, in terms of the big banks and all these corporations, they look at it as a currency,
right?
As a way of transaction,
right?
Do you know,
exactly,
so,
and which is what makes Ripple the talk as well when it comes to cryptocurrency.
Right.
But so what I'm saying is, when you look at it as currency, right? Like I said before, the reason why I got into Bitcoin was over gold, right, was because I looked at it and I thought, okay, well, you're not going to send your gold via mail because I'm buying trainers from this guy in the States. I'm not going to buy Jordans online and then send you gold via post. Like, you
cut the gold in half.
You have to chop the gold,
flip the gold out in a quarter and then send it.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to chop it, and be like, let me see if it's the right amount. Like, nah, that's all long. Do you get me? I got into Bitcoin because I thought, this has more of a feature, or you can say this has, it has more of a hedge over gold because I can buy something instantly online. Yeah. Do you know what I'm saying? So that was what I was looking at. So now when I say it's outdated, the reason why I'm saying that is because what's coming, or maybe it's not. Okay, let me say it's not outdated.
No, for you it is.
Because I'm looking ahead.
Yeah. Right. So you're like,
there's
too many people on it now.
Exactly. So my point is,
yeah, but sorry, he has the tendency to be so far ahead that
I think that's probably
it could be the right time, but for Charlton, he's already ahead.
2030 Futurama.
But you know what? And that could be a problem as well, because in order to have, some people would say that's a blessing, right? But the curse is you have to be patient.
No, facts.
It's a curse initially, but if you are patient, if you know how to master patience, then it's a blessing. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? But that is kind of the thing. And for me, I think I'm always looking ahead. I'm always looking at what's next, right? Yeah. And Bitcoin is not what's next. It's right now, but I think if people want to be able to be like, do you know what? I want to invest in the next thing, right? And maximize their gains and their profits. I think, you would want to do more research. Yeah. And I don't know if you guys want to talk about it this episode, but I think maybe we could bring it in on the next episode.
We could give him a little taste of it. Just, give him a little, just a tiny taste.
Okay. So if you want to do that,
this is a small one.
It is a small taste. So we were talking about the Internet of Things, right? And we know that's what's coming. I can't remember. I think it's something like, I think I've got the stats on here, right? So hold on, let me see. No, I can't remember where I got the stats, but basically, I think it's like, I can't remember how many billions of things. So 100 billion connected devices by 2025.
Yeah, we're right there. We're in 2025.
Do you see what I'm saying?
2025 is right here.
Right. So what I want to say is, okay, remember when we went from 3G to 4G?
And everyone was like, wow, this is fast.
But what happened though? Because we went from using remember Blackberries?
Yeah.
We had the Blackberries, right? Were you able to purchase anything with your Blackberry?
No.
No, I don't think no.
Not really.
No, maybe music or something.
Maybe.
I can't remember.
You can't get on the internet.
You can't get on there and buy.
I didn't.
But when 4G came,
you're doing that.
Then you had Instagram. Then you had all these apps where now, because the speed of the internet was so fast, you can actually see, you can load up, online shop and you can order instantly.
Yeah.
Right? That was the change that happened with that. Right? So now that we're going from 4G to, I'm not gonna say it because I think we might get banned. But now that we're transitioning from, so now that we're transitioning from that to,
What's
from
next?
4G to what's next, what you're gonna see is faster internet speed.
Facts.
So what's gonna happen? It's inevitable that you're gonna have your drones, you're gonna have your autonomous vehicles.
Yeah.
So what is going to be fast enough to transfer data, right? We're talking about the currency for the Internet of Things.
Something has to be able to support
Something
that.
has to be able to support it, right? And that's where, in my opinion, IOTA comes in.
Okay, let's leave it there. Let's leave it there now. Let's leave it there. That was the taster. Taster. Let's leave it there. Let them, man. Let's leave it there.
Yeah, man. So, that's where we're at, man. That's where we're at currently.
Cool.
But I would suggest that people look into, cryptocurrency, man. Don't be closed-minded. Don't think it's a scam. Go and
Do your research.
Research what money is.
Exactly. And even if you think it's a scam, there's a potential for you to have some gains in there. So if you do the research and you're like, okay, it's a scam, but I'm gonna put X amount of money in. Yeah. As soon as I get to X amount of percent, I'm pulling out, regardless of what happens.
Exactly.
It's an opportunity for you to be able to make some money. So, like these guys have been saying, man, do your research. Do your research. Research is good, man.
Yeah. What I just wanted to ask you before we finish, is there any negatives that you can see?
Oh, yes. Yes.
Sorry.
No, go on.
No,
It made me think of something. I just
wanted to ask, is there any negatives from a business standpoint that you can see with the mass adoption of crypto? Like, I'll give you an example. You see how we touched upon inflation and how the value of paper money gets less and less and less over time. People that invest in property, for example, buy-to-lets. There's people that only want repayment mortgages, and then there's people who liked interest-only mortgages.
Yeah.
And the reason why the smart people who understood about good debt and how to make that work for them, they opted for an interest-only mortgage because they thought, if I get, for example, $100,000 mortgage, I'll prefer to have to pay off $100,000 in 25 years than having to pay it off over time.
Big
because
facts.
in 25 years, my $100,000 is now less than what it is.
Right. And you can use some of that money for something else as well.
Yeah, and obviously the capital growth of the property, and you've earned more on your rental income every month. Right. Fine. But with crypto, that isn't going to be the case, is it?
That's a good question.
So that's just another angle that I'm looking at. If everything, for example, is in crypto, and in your opinion, like I haven't really thought about the answer to the question that I'm asking. I've just come up with that right now. But do you have any thoughts on how that would work in business practice? Because that's actually
phrase that question again. Sorry.
Like so, so if crypto isn't going to be susceptible to inflation at all, there's a few business or money making opportunities that won't be there, as opposed to what there is in terms of hyperinflation, and learn how to allow loans and certain types of debt to work for you.
Right.
You know what I mean? So like I've never really thought about it. I've kind of sprung it on you guys because I've never even thought about it myself.
I think that's a good question.
I've just thought about that.
But it's going back to what you said about the new thing. Like all of that stuff, the inflation, everything like that is of the old. Do you know what I mean?
Right,
In the new, that might not be a thing.
Yeah.
It might really not be a thing. There may be something else, because I know with your coins you could do this thing where you it's like you lend them out. I can't remember the name. I can't remember what it's called, but there's a specific name for it. It's like instead of just holding your coins in your wallet,
is it staking?
You could stake your coins out. So I think that's a way of making.
I was just gonna say,
leveraging it. So you stake it out, and then you'll make some money on it, and then you could just, you could recollect them whenever you want.
Yeah, for me, like I said, I didn't, for me, I didn't go into it as looking at, the complexities of it. Like, and this is what I'm saying, hey, look, if you're in the crypto community, feel free to
comment on that question.
Feel free to
let us know.
Feel free to come in, and as well, feel free to flame me on certain things that I've said.
Just come in. Let's have a discussion, man.
But my thing is, for me, I just try and keep it simple. Yeah. In a sense where when you look at the amount of currency that is floating right now, trillions. So for me, I'm just looking at what will be the next reserve currency. So I spoke about Bretton Woods, right? The IMF just announced a new Bretton Woods moment. So it means that they're looking to restructure the world reserve currency. Right. So I'm looking at that because that's where the massive gain is. Do you know what I mean? I'm not looking at, because once again, like I said, that's $1 trillion market. Do you know what I mean? Whatever's coming to replace it will replace trillions. Yeah. So that's what I'm focused on. I don't usually focus on staking. I don't focus on trading it. Yeah. I want to be an investor.
I think staking it would be the best answer.
I think staking it for what you've mentioned
is how you could gain some interest on your
absolutely.
On your
Absolutely.
Staking is their inflation.
No, actually, it is staking, because I know I got one of my friends, Yasser. He's gonna come on the show.
Nice.
He promised.
Shout out. Yes.
I'm throwing you under the bus.
Shout out, yes. Man, yes.
So anyway, he actually does stake and he gets interest.
Yeah.
So, and a lot of people do it.
You could get like if you 4 to 8% a month.
Absolutely. On staking them. But there's a lot of people, you go on YouTube, there's a few people that actually affiliate market certain platforms where you can stake your coins and get the interest on it monthly. So I think that. But yeah, man, I mean, for me, I'm just looking at what's the next world reserve currency, because that would be the ultimate form of wealth transfer.
Right.
That would be the ultimate.
I heard something. Yeah. I don't know how true it is. Yeah, but I heard the only thing that can hack Bitcoin or crypto, I don't know if it's crypto,
quantum computing.
It's quantum computers or computing or whatever. Yeah. Touch on that. Is that a thing? Is that possible?
It is.
And if it is possible, how would that affect? Would that affect the whole of cryptocurrency or just Bitcoin?
Do you know what? I think we would need someone technical to touch on that, because that goes into like it's hacking and
it's hacking basically
100%.
But do you think if somebody could hack, do you think it would mess up the whole of the cryptocurrency?
There's been ones that have been hacked.
Ethereum has been hacked.
He's basically saying, would it have like a domino effect on the rest of it? I think it's possible. Isn't it? It's possible, but what you get is basically the weak holders. So I think people that have gotten in speculating, I think they'll be shaking out.
Yeah,
and
you see that in
trading
stocks
all the time.
Yeah.
So I think the weak holders will be shaking out. You might get a few professional traders or professional investors that might be shaking out as well. Right. But I think ultimately that would come and go, and that would just keep. Do you know what I mean?
The way I like when I was speaking to one of my friends about it, I said, like, obviously if you have your own wallet, your own ledger, it doesn't really matter what a quantum computer could do, because literally you can just plug out from the internet, right?
Yeah, but the thing is, if a certain crypto was to get hacked,
then you're super pissed.
The value of your
it's gone down.
Yeah. So so it can affect you despite you actually saving in a physical wallet as well.
Right.
But I think ultimately, it would definitely bounce back.
Yeah.
I think the market is here to stay. I mean, if you look at 99, the .com bubble crash or whatever you want to call it, people thought the internet was done, and then it's like it just kept going.
Now it's
so it's
live without Wi-Fi.
Yeah, man. I mean, these kind of things are discrepancies that have to happen in order for them to know what it is that needs to be done to protect it in future and to upgrade it.
They've probably got people who are trying to hack it as that's their jobs.
That's it.
Do you know what I mean?
That's it.
Always trying to hack it.
Absolutely.
Always trying to do this.
But I think the most success comes in hacking the actual the platforms,
right?
You know, so the exchanges. So I think that's where the majority of the hacking actually happens.
Is in exchanges.
Yeah. So which is why a lot of people get physical wallets to actually hold their things on.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, but then you do get certain projects that get their wallets hacked as well.
Yeah.
Probably at the beginning stages.
It's the wild, wild west, man.
It is.
Like,
it is.
You know,
it is.
things are happening.
New.
Like,
it's still new. You know,
it's worth it though. It's worth going in and researching and learning what it does and what it is for sure.
Yeah, the more risk, the more gains you're gonna get. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So yeah, man.
Calculated risks. Right?
That's it. Exactly. Yeah. That's what it's about. You know. But yeah, man. Like it's. I would recommend people actually go and research cryptocurrency, man. Like it's not what you think. It's not, you know, this stigma. It's here to stay. It's here to stay, man. The world is not going to be, I mean, unless the internet gets shut down.
Yeah.
Right. Then that's when we've got problems. But I don't know if what the likelihood of that happening.
Man.
It'll probably have to be the end of the world.
Slim. Zero.
So yeah, man. I mean, is there anything you guys wanted to touch on though? Based on, obviously we missed Kofi today.
Oh yeah. Shout out Kofi.
Shout out to the guy.
Shout out Kofi.
I think to people that want to look into crypto, to people that want to get the least technical explanations, and where would you suggest people should be looking really to do their research? Because everyone's quite intimidated who's not a part of it now, who's looking into it. I think there could potentially be a lot of people in it who are still intimidated.
Do you know what? Do you know what I say? Yeah, I say, like, stop trying to do too much research. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, just get involved.
Yeah,
£10, £5,
right?
The price of a Big Mac meal.
Get an exchange. Just open an exchange, see how it works.
Yeah, just get involved, and then you're gonna see. Do you know what I mean? And that's just what it is, man. And like I said, you know, I'm not a financial advisor, so I'm not advising anyone to invest money that they can't afford to lose. Do your own research. But I would say the best, you know, if you want to learn how to drive, you don't just keep reading about it.
No, you gotta do it.
No,
you have to get involved. It's scary.
Yeah.
But once you get involved with time, you get better at it. You start to understand, oh, this is the wallet. Yeah. Oh, this is this. Oh, this is the halving time, or whatever the case may be. You start to learn about whatever cryptocurrency you're involved in. But what I want to say is, if you're looking to get involved in order to get capital gains or get some profit, I would say research what money is, because ultimately that's what it comes down to, right? Which one has the value? Right. Which one acts as an exchange? Yeah, do you know what I mean? And that's what it's about, man. I think, you know, people need to look into the history of money. I think that would really help a lot of people, man. And they'll be able to understand when these guys are talking, the IMF, and when they're throwing all these big words and all these things, and all these letters, the IMF, WHO, all this rubbish. Like, bro, like, listen, it all comes down to, it comes down to actually doing research. Do your research and, you know, look back in history. It's fun. Do you get what I'm saying? And I'm telling you, man, you be able to. There's a guy, like I said, Mike Maloney. He's really, really good. If you want to research all these things, he's got several professionally made documentaries where you can watch animated videos, and it breaks it down nicely and nice and easy for people to actually understand. But I would say, man, the time is now for people to get involved.
The time is definitely now.
Do you know what I mean?
You're not too late. You know, when your aunt or your grandma is saying, can you get me some Bitcoin? That's when you're too late,
bro. You know
what I mean?
You know what's crazy? Yeah?
Right now, it's good timing. Good timing still.
You know what's crazy? Yeah, I looked at the Naira compared to Bitcoin, and I think Bitcoin went up about 500% in 1 year compared to it.
Mad.
And I'm just like, I'll be silly.
Nah, real talk. To think that this is valuable. It's not.
It's getting really burnt.
Yeah.
All currencies are getting burnt.
Yeah, facts.
Right? I think it was Greece that, not Greece, okay, Zimbabwe. Have you heard of the hyperinflation that happened in Zimbabwe? Have you heard?
When was that?
So this was, I can't remember what year it was, right? But there was some hyperinflation that happened, and they've got like, what is it, like $1 trillion Zimbabwe dollar.
They got I heard about that. Yeah,
so basically, the money devalued, and they just kept printing and printing.
One note is 1 trillion.
One note, they've got $1 trillion
like
note, Zimbabwe dollar note.
Yeah.
This is where it's getting to. Like, think about this year already. We've had like several companies and services raise their prices.
Right.
That's happening more constantly now. We're starting to see, I won't say hyperinflation, but we're starting to see inflation happen more consistently.
Yeah.
Listen, I've received email from every one of our service providers. Our prices are going
It's
up.
going up.
Even Sky.
It's going up.
To the corner
everyone.
shop, everything's going up.
You know what I mean?
Everything. Like.
So this is what I'm saying.
But then your wages don't go up.
Cost of living, exactly.
Cost of living goes up.
Cost of living is going up,
but your
wages
salaries ain't going up.
This is the thing, and not only is your salary not going up, it's basically less.
Yeah, exactly.
Every time.
Exactly.
You know, so this is the
why
thing, man.
investing is key, bro.
You sent me the video, not the video. You sent me a screenshot of basically the new budget.
Yeah.
And you asked me what I thought of it. Bruv, it's nothing but printing money.
Yeah, it is.
I don't need. Listen, I said to someone, there's a guy that's involved in real estate, yeah, and I was telling him, I'm like, listen, bro. All I know is, it's either the house market comes crashing, or they keep printing money to keep it up.
Taxes will go up.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah. However, here's how you play it, or here's how I'm playing it. If I see the budget comes out, right, and they're doing this 5% thing for first-time buyers, which they always do. Oh, we're supporting this. Yeah. Oh, we're extending furlough. Listen, I don't even need to understand English. All I know is that you're printing money.
Yeah.
That's all I know. That's all I need to know,
yeah.
right? And what am I going to do? I'm like, okay, I'm investing in this over here that doesn't get printed.
Yeah.
That is decentralized, away from the control of the system.
Right.
So I'm out.
Yeah,
I'm out. I'm not holding on to pounds, holding on to. I must be crazy.
Facts.
They're printing this thing by the.
Yeah, man.
Come on, man.
It's mad.
Bro, I think debt to GDP is up 100% right now.
Yeah, you said that still.
How are you gonna pay back?
Taxes.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Taxes.
So
Taxes,
you talk about the Wild West, bro. It's worse than that, man.
I'm telling you,
it's worse than that out here. So this is why I say people need to do their research, man, because I personally believe, I hate to be a bearer of bad news, right? But I believe it's only going to get worse. They've been kicking the can down the road for so many years. Yeah. And now it's getting to the point where
they're
it's
jumping
like,
ship slowly, though.
This is it.
Like when you hear about JP Morgan, all these different, institutions, what they're doing, you can see that they're jumping ship. But they're not going to tell you, hey, I'm jumping ship. They're going to leave you there so that you can still be their prey. You know, they're predators, so they need food, and you're going to be their food.
That's
it,
so man. And then they're gonna keep telling people, "Oh, don't get into this."
Yeah.
Meanwhile, they're getting into it. And
That's
one thing that people tend to do is they focus too much on the news. Yeah. Right? What people need to understand, typical trading. I wouldn't say it's typical, but one thing about trading and investing, when you see it on the news, it's too late.
It's too late.
They're telling you after the move has happened.
Yeah, facts.
Right? They're telling, Warren Buffett says buy low, sell high.
Yeah.
They're telling you when it's high to buy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So you can only buy low after you've done your research, when nobody's doing the research.
Yeah.
Right? So this is the thing, man. I think, and because to be honest,
these ain't things that they teach in schools. These are things that you're going to have to teach yourself.
Yeah.
Financial literacy is key.
It's
key. It's on you to do.
And a lot of people say, "Oh, money isn't everything." But one of my favorite guys, Jim Rohn, he says, "Money isn't everything, but it ranks up there with oxygen."
Bro, listen, that's a fact. Bro.
You need money.
You need it.
You need money for almost everything.
Bro. You need money to buy water, which is we got what? What's the earth? 80% or 90% water.
Unless you're completely off grid in some jungle somewhere where you're living with lions and that.
But how would you? Well, those people, they need to build their you're doing something. You're trading something for that. You're trading something. Yeah. You need money, bro.
What you're
money
saying
is necessary, bro.
Is that even with the situation that is happening, if you're prepared to do your research, if you're prepared to look into things, there are still opportunities there.
100%.
This is still early.
100%.
Like I said,
There's
until
still
when your grandma asks you to buy her Bitcoin, then it's over.
Yeah, but not just
Bitcoin.
We're talking about
Crypto.
everything, like the world as a whole. Even when there's big issues happening, there's always an opportunity.
Of course.
Well, I wouldn't say what I took. The main thing I took from Rich Dad Poor Dad was when he said, when they tell me that an area has really devalued, I go there.
Yeah.
I go straight there because I know that even though there's a crash there, I know that there's
so high
opportunity.
Buy low, sell high. Exactly.
Yeah. And
that's it.
And that's what made me realize, well, you can't be following news if you're looking for opportunity.
No way.
Nah, man.
No way, man. Like, I mean, if you look at the cryptocurrency, I think we're going to touch on next episode.
Yeah.
It's I was telling people about this like last year when all this pandemic had started and everything. And I said to people, like, look, I literally, basically what I said to people close to me was, this was the Bretton Woods, the new Bretton Woods. This was months before they announced it. Right? Because I can see businesses failing. You go to central London, there's not even furnitures in these places.
Yeah.
It's a reset,
Facts.
right? So my thing is, you need to start looking for what is going to provide the value after the reset is done.
Yeah.
Right. So when we talk about that crypto that I love dearly,
right?
I was telling people about it and it was worth about 20p. Now it's 130, 135.
Yeah.
That is about 600% increase.
Imagine that.
Do you know what I mean? 600% increase. However, our currency is probably devalued.
Facts. Big facts.
A couple percent, So it's like, it's very, very, very important, man, to do your research now. Especially now that it's lockdowns, people have got a lot of time on their hands. I think they can do
and
some
the
research,
information is out there. It's not difficult. It's really out there. You could get in touch with people. You can reach out to people. So just try it. Pick something that you want to find out more things about in the crypto space, or just, some way to invest your money, and just, give it 30 minutes a day. Just give 30 minutes a day and just research into it, but be consistent with that 30 minutes a day. And them small increments, it really puts you in a better place, overall. So researching is what we love over here. We love to research.
Absolutely. Absolutely, man.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think that's a good way to end it, man, Vic. Like, for real. We'll try and keep, obviously, pushing out more knowledge in terms of crypto.
Yeah, facts.
Because, man, I think, just research, like you said.
Yeah.
I couldn't have said it better myself. So,
man. Everyone research.